It does. Pick up the street. What? Are you serious? Really?